Hello and good evening. And yes, you are live. I know I'm late. I'm 5 minutes late. Wow. Running around, chicken, headless. You know the story. We all live that life now, don't we? Isn't that the life we all live in? It's just crazy how, oh yeah, everything that all this tech and all this stuff, we're making it all for your convenience to make your life easier. So simple. Just push this button and do this over here. And the next thing you know, your life is more. I mean, the more our lives technologically evolve, it seems like the busier I am. And is that the way it is? I mean, how is that even possible? How do we explain that? Nobody's got a rational wrap their head around that angle. Evidently, I'm going to play doorman again tonight here. The dogs are in and out like, like a burger. If you're anyone on the West Coast, you understand that one. I saw In and Out like as far east as like, I wanted to say I saw him in the South somewhere. And anyway, good evening, everybody. I am about to do one of those shows that I don't do very often, but when I do them, I always look back and I say to myself, that was the best show you've ever done. No, actually, I never say that, but occasionally they turn out really good. Essentially, what I mean by that statement is I have virtually no show notes at all. But there is so much going on in crypto, AI, politics, banking, government, what's happening, what's coming, the dates before us, all the above, that to fill an hour and a half of content is like it goes by like that. So let's get on with it. Enough of the old introductions here. 1 second. I want to talk because my buddy Ron, my brother Ron, I will say, reminded me the other day, I believe it's yesterday, we were talking on the phone and he wanted my take on last Friday and what it means to the market going forward and what it means to crypto for all of us. Alan, the people want to hear your opinion. They want to hear what you think's going on, because there's a lot of people that, evidently they don't have much else to do, so they'll like to sit around and listen to Alan talk about stuff. And that's a good thing, but it's also kind of one of those situations that are like, well, look, I get a lot of it wrong, so don't write any of this down by any stretch of the imagination. But what happened that day, there's been a lot of clarity, if you want to believe in anybody that's reported anything that they claim has actually occurred in those moments. But from the evidence that's come out in the blockchain, we can kind of really look at the sequence of events. And it was a real blunder. And it wasn't a blunder in any other way than, I don't believe that Binance was that stupid. I'm sorry, I mentioned this last Sunday. They're not stupid. In fact, I would have to say that they actually are one of the smarter exchanges. Their people are brilliant. CZ, I take them or leave them or love them or hate them. I'm a big fan of CZ. Any man that fights the system, moves from continent to continent to continent to continent, and then ends up going to jail for a year and a half or whatever he did. I don't know. It sounds like he's somebody I can relate to. You know what I mean? It's like, hey, you know what? I think this guy's trying harder than you think he is. However, having said that, their lack of responsibility and their outright egg on face of what happened last Friday is completely on them. It just is. So you can either say that, well, they either did it ignorantly. No, I don't believe that. B, they did it intentionally. I'd like to not believe that. Or C, they didn't think they'd get caught doing it. Probably C. Okay, could be B and C. They didn't think they'd get caught doing something like that. But whenever you're running oracles, and these oracles, I know you've probably heard a million different explanations of what an oracle is. These in particular, with DeFi and with finance, with all finance now, as you put things on a chain or as you put them out and you can access them, DeFi, these market makers, if you will, simply are just looking for arbitrage. And they're constantly checking this area to keep Coinbase, CoinGecko, and Binance all within a standard number 2 or 3, right? Well, these oracles basically just translate information back and forth as to what everybody number. Oh, okay, we all agree that Ethereum's this number, Bitcoin's that, and XRP's that. Essentially, that's how these have been programmed, which is why you want to get into DeFi and playing around with these oracles, because that arbitrage is really a sweet spot of making a lot of money. Different show. Concept here is what they did with their stable coin, and how stable coin is they didn't link it to an oracle. Well, gee, we were like, we didn't know somebody was going to sell. I think it was $60 million of them, like that. That triggered this person not getting paid, this person not getting paid, and this not getting paid. Makes this massive arbitrage, and everybody sits there and goes, whoa, wait a minute, over on this exchange it's this, and this one's this, and they lost their peg with their stable coin. Once that happens, again, I want to remind everybody thinks that DC is the perfect stable coin and Circle, and oh my God, they lost their peg. That's what a lot of people don't. I don't like to say it because a lot of people give me a hard time about it. That's when I became a Tether fan. USDC lost their peg. They had to go to the man, okay, and say, hey, help us out. They got bailed out, people. You guys remember the whole signature bank thing and all that? I know most of you didn't look into it. All you heard was, oh, USDC is great, and Circle, and buy the stock, and we're gonna all make a bunch of money, and we're selling it. And I don't know, there's channels in YouTube, in particular XRP channels, that were raw USDC, and boy, that's the perfect coin, and all the rest. They're the system, man. Like, I don't know any other way to put it other than Circle is the system. Period. Would you have gotten bailed out? Would they have bailed Tether out? No. So that's when this man started doing some homework and started looking around and go, whoa, wait a minute. They threw CZ in jail, and the word all over Europe is Tether's bad and get them out of Europe. And I thought, wow, all right. I get it. I see what's happening here. Let me look into this. I know. Ticks a lot of people off. A lot of people don't want to hear that story. So did they do it? A, B, or C? Accident, intentional, or thought they could get away with it? This man, whole thing was done intentionally. Why? They needed a trigger. Where's your trigger? What's the future of stablecoins? The trigger. Put that in the back of your cap. Put that in the back of your cap, because what is the difference between a stablecoin and a CBDC? We could be here all night without a word, because there really isn't any. I hate to break it to people. There's really not much difference. Just not. Isn't. However, one seems to be backed by the Treasury and one seems to be more central bankers. Okay. Well, there's a big difference there to some degree. That's a good difference, I would say. I struggle, very much so struggle with how is it we're all lining up. We got these ETFs. We got crypto. We're all ready to rock. We're on the launch pad. We're ready to go. People are levering up. People are 3Xing their leverage. People are saying to themselves, yeah, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go ahead and 3X this trade because, baby, it's fall. It's the fourth quarter of the year. We know the October and November go up. Everybody's looking good. And then all of a sudden, some stable coin crashes the system because why? They forgot to hook the Oracle up to the system. We kicked the plug. I don't know. It was plugged up. Whose job is that? Let's fire that guy. We've got a new scapegoat, and it's called stable coins. Not good, folks. Not good. I guess they ran out of Sam Bankman's. Now that I've painted a very murky picture of what I think really happened that day, what does that mean going forward? This man's opinion, it slowed everything down to a crawl. Slow crawl. No more leverage. Nobody has the nerve for it. We have to find a solid bottom. I talked about this. The dead cat bounce was Monday. I predicted it over the weekend. I said, listen, it could probably go up. It could look good, green on Monday, but probably not going to last. You're finding new shorts. You're looking for a new bottom. You're looking for a higher low. Higher low, higher low, higher low. Okay? It's what you're looking for. Then that'll bring in confidence. That'll bring fluid movement. That'll say, hey, this gold trade's getting a little lofty. Maybe we find another avenue. Okay, well, what's crypto doing? Well, we crushed all those leverage people. It hasn't settled at quite a bottom yet. But what we could do is dump some more of these futures on the market, and we could continue to bring this thing down until everybody says, that's it. I'm getting XRP for $1.99. I'm in. I'm not saying it's going to that. Not my point. It's going to settle and find its own new bottom. One man's opinion. Until it finds that new bottom, this is not a 2-year short. This is not what I'm talking about. This is not a downturn in the market for months on end. This is going to last. They're looking for some form of capitulation from you and I and the people that own all of these coins, in particular the ones that they deem it really, really important. Now this is where this show gets real tricky. Okay? This gets real tricky, guys. And let me take another sip real quick. It gets real tricky because people are down, people are nervous, and people don't want to hear something that I'm about to say. But listen to the logic behind what I'm saying. Don't listen to the names of the coins. Okay? All right. Before I trigger anybody here. Which coin took the least beating? Which coin has the largest market share? What coin has the most massive, vast pool of backing and money behind it. What coin do the people who are sitting back looking at it going, okay, I'm a billionaire, I'm a multimillionaire, that coin, well, all of these coins dropped in a flash crash up to 70 and 80% of their value like that. What happens when that much of a market that quickly shows itself to you? So what you're saying is, oh, well, wait a minute. We were driving along and everything was really going good, and then the thing blew up. Oh, well, gee, I don't know if I'll take that car next time I go driving. It doesn't give you a warm fuzzy. You know what I mean? It's like in the back of your head, you're like, how is it possible that 70% of the value in a matter of 10 minutes dropped out of that coin? I thought 70% of all those coins were in long-term held wallets, dusty old wallets for a long period of time. Or was it that it just wasn't liquid enough? And I mean true liquidity here, people. I mean a massive swimming pool. I use this analogy a lot. You can't throw a whale in a swimming pool. That's what the whales figured out Friday. So now you're a whale. Now you're up to your gills in gold. Real estate's flat at best, okay? Stocks are frothy, way at the top. And you're being told by all the fundamentals in the last 2 years, year at least, how incredible the future is for blockchain, in particular crypto. And you're looking for something to purchase. I don't know. If you've got $1 billion, do you want to lose it? No, you don't want to lose it. Do you want to make money? Not really. I mean, I can't lie to you. I'm playing doorman here. Hey, in or out, big guy? In or out? I know they look at me like, this is more fun to watch you get up and down on that chair. I'm just painting a picture here. You determine whatever you believe is real. But if you're loaded, and I know most of us aren't, that's not what I'm saying here. But what I'm saying is, where's the capital going to come from? Joe Sixpack? No, that's not where the capital is going to come from. Capital is coming from the top into crypto. How do I know that? All you got to do is do a Google search, and nobody even knows what a crypto is these days. We're like way down the old search list. But the fundamentals and the people behind the scenes and the people writing the laws currently in Congress and the Senate, of course, they're not doing a whole lot right now because, I don't know, they're decided to go on strike or whatever they're up to over there. Yeah, you just print fake stuff and then you argue as to how much fake stuff you're going to hand out. Yeah, you guys look real sharp right now. Real sharp. Those are the people I want running my life, right? Right? Yeah. Wow. Anyway. It's very difficult. Yes, I did. By the way, I saw it was one of the things I was going to talk about tonight, but I'm not going to get into it. The PayPal stablecoin thing. Okay, I'll mention it right now, just so I can get this on my chest. The stable coins by all companies on this planet, all companies, I'm talking about every company that you can imagine is going to have a stable coin. I mean, finally, Chuck E. Cheese. You know what I'm saying? Chuck E. Cheese is going to have their own. And who doesn't, I mean, if you've got to go to a grandkids party, Chuck's, you know what I'm saying? And those little coupon things. Yeah, right? It's valuable when you're in the door. Really valuable in there. You could get some kind of stuffed animal or something going on, right? Everybody's going to have them. Everybody. Every bank. There's going to be groups of banks. There's going to be groups of people. There's going to be associations are all going to mint their own stable coins. All of them. Why? They're being encouraged by the Treasury, Scott Bassett, current administration. B, wait a minute, I get to print money and I get to make money off the money that I printed out of thin air. C, everybody understands the liquidity of them. You mean somebody in some country to where a guy's holding a phone can own my Costco coin? Wow, that's cool. So who's going to want these stable coins? Let's remember what happened to Facebook. When did we understand the value of networking? Pretty much Facebook. I'm going to go with Facebook. You could probably think of someone before that, but that was really the one that went to the whole world and went, oh, wow, that's marketing. That's networking. That's in the more numbers. You only need 2 pennies for every human being, and you're, I don't know, wealthy. That's when we got the big number guy. Big number guy. Spurred on so many different things. I mean, like a YouTube channel, if you got 1 million viewers, I mean, you only need $1 a month, right? It's networking. So what's going to be the most popular stable coins out there? The ones that have the biggest network, the ones who have the biggest use case, the ones who are all over the world who think, I want one of those. I can use that one day. I'll need that. I don't know what global products come to mind. Coca-Cola. You know what I mean? It's kind of the same concept as those of you who understand NFTs, and you really get it to a fundamental level of NFTs are really valuable in the sense that if your grandkids do a finger painting, of a turkey and Thanksgiving and around their hand and the whole thing, they're really cute if your grandkid does it. But how many people want it? Probably not going to sell a lot of those. I'm just guessing, you know what I'm saying? But you get the point. If they find a Rembrandt that they didn't even know existed and it was in some cave in a dungeon somewhere and they found it, and all of a sudden you can own a percentage of it. Wow. Oh, wow. You own a Rembrandt? Well, of course, yeah. Yeah, it's chump change. Yeah, you get the point. That's what all of these people are about to do. So whenever you think about these new stable coins and these companies going after it all, think about how big their market share is. Think about what the value is to them. And let's not forget, what's the most profitable company in the planet? That's right, Tether. Their margins are through the roof. They have 14 full-time staff, and then they have 150 people that work there, and they make, tens of billions a quarter. It's crazy. Like it's the new world in which we live, right? There will be, because of AI and some other reason, multitude of many other reasons, there will be a company with 2 or 3 employees, and they'll be $1 billion company. And then one day they'll have 5 employees and it'll be $1 trillion company. And those days are ahead of us. And all of that is because they have market share. All of that is because of network effect. This is why you own crypto. This is why you want, like Tesla coin or whatever. I want to get back to my point about a coin. And I'm with, I think it was Hoofdies put it in there, or somebody put it. It rhymes with B. I'm not trying to tell you to run out and buy a bunch of it, because most of you probably aren't going to do that anyway. I am going to say that they're choosing, the wealth of the world is choosing the winners. I hope you understand that right now. Okay? And I'm not saying that Ethereum, Solana, XRP, XLM, Cardano, all our favorite coins don't have a future. Of course they have a future. Massive future. Do not sell your coins at this point. But when they take the equity out of the market that way, or I shouldn't say the equity, because it really wasn't equity. It was purchased equity. It was leverage. When they take that much leverage out of a market, and when you look at where the leverage came from, and you thought to yourself that everybody who owned XRP actually didn't own it on leverage, we didn't know that. I didn't know that was that much leverage purchase of XRP coins. I just didn't. I assumed that there was most of the network market share, if you will, of XRP was long-term holders. Again, my own blinders. I got caught off guard with that. It does make sense, because small companies and people were stacking their coins up and saying, okay, 3x, because we're about to get this ETF. Isn't it strange? Right before the ETF, we just got the rug pulled out from under all that leverage. Probably just a coincidence. Interesting coincidence, that one. Again, are there coincidences? No, there's not. There's no such thing as coincidence. It's difficult for this man to wrap his mind around the fact that a coin can be so valuable to mankind, but it's being treated like a stepchild. It's really strange. It's like such a brilliant technology that could save so many people so much money and so much time and so much effort, and everybody could just transact globally, virtually for free. Yet somehow it just can't prosper. It just keeps stumbling along blindly. Perfect thing for mankind, but no, it keeps bumping into walls as if it has lost its way. All the time it steps in the wrong spot, in the wrong direction. Gosh, it's almost like there were a group of people on an upper level who, I don't know, make $7 trillion a year, determined not to give their $7 trillion away, so that this technology that would service all mankind could thrive and help us all. The boogeyman we could get away from inflation with it. Yeah, you probably hadn't even thought about that, had you? Yeah, think about that. Because the movement of money has inflated. The expense of moving money has only gone up in expense, percentage-wise. And and that coin wants to come along and revolutionize and change the world. And these people are going to do what? Sit back and just let you steal their candy? Anyway, let's take the tinfoil hat off for a second. I want to talk tonight about money. I want to talk about you, your wealth, your assets, what you're doing with them, what you plan to do with them, what you've learned about money, fiat, money, gold, crypto, trading, speculating, being part of the future of economics. What is it you've really learned? I'm asking you something very difficult here. This is a come to one's own knowledge level question. Do you know how to make money? And I want you to be honest with yourself. Do you have any idea how money is made? And I don't mean at the printing press or in Congress or in the central banks. I don't mean like that. I mean, do you know how to make money? Yeah, and I'm looking right at you. You don't. 9 times out of 10, you don't. In particular, what I'm really running into a lot of people is, yeah, exactly, hodling. In the last 5 years, it's come to my attention that most people think that all they have to do to get rich or be generational wealth, and I talk about it a lot on this channel, so I'm as guilty as the next guy, is all I have to do is buy these 5 coins and just wait. Good strategy, way better than holding or saving your money in the bank. Clearly, much better. You've learned a lot. You've done well. But how do you make money? What are you doing to do that? Do you have a strategy? Do you have a plan with your money? And I'm talking about money in the general sense of the matter. Okay. I understand that gold is money and fiat is not. I know that. What I'm saying is, if somebody handed you $100,000 tomorrow, would you A, pay all your bills off, B, buy something expensive with it, C, invest it? A, B, or C? If you answer A or B, wrong. I know what you're saying. I know, Alan, but I pay 20% interest on this thing. And why would I do that? I got this problem over here, and it's a big problem for me. And I got to get out from underneath this debt. I said, okay, well, how much is your debt? Is your debt $50K? So you're going to spend $50K on paying off your debt? Yeah. Okay. How much is your debt? $50K. How much are you paying on it? You're going to say 20%. You're paying 20% on $50K annually? Yes, sir. Okay. What if you took that 50% and you made 60% annually with it? Would you say it's still a good idea to pay off the debt or not? What would you say? Let's say you don't even pay 20%. Let's say you're paying, I don't know, 5, 6, 7, 8%, like your home. And you're saying, well, gosh, Alan, if somebody gave me $100,000 or I have $100,000, in other words, I've got $500,000 worth of crypto, Should I just wait for it to be worth 5 million, or should I do something with, I don't know, say 100 grand of that? I think you guys all know where I'm going with this. If you're not learning how to make money with money, then you're just listening to idle chatter on YouTube. Yeah, you're learning that there's a new thing and there's this other thing and there's other cool things happening in the market, and well, we're all going to be wealthy one day, and one day it's going to be a fantastic day. And don't get me wrong, I'm as guilty, and this channel has done that for 4 years now. But all the while, this man has been looking for an avenue for all of us to get out of. How do we prosper? Do you like just sit and wait for lottery? No, I didn't. And now I'm going to be, this is so complicated, but I really want to touch on this for a minute. How did Alan get to where Alan is? It's been a long ride, and we're not going to go through the history of it all, and I'm not going to bore you with it all. What I am going to say is how I got to where I'm at. Be sincere. Be yourself. You're not going to please everybody. There's a lot of people that watch my channel, and after watching my channel for 20 minutes, they go, well, you never said anything. I can't. Why would I watch your channel? You didn't teach me the news today. Well, okay, that's cool. Good for you. You need the news. That's good. By the way, how does that sheep tail smell? I just, asking. So if you be honest with people, and more honest with yourself. And I don't mean beat yourself up. I mean, be honest with yourself in the sense that there's nobody out there doing anything that you can't do, number one. Number two, there's nobody any better at doing things than you are. Truly, that's a fact. I've proven that to myself my entire life long. There's no reason why I should be succeeding in life any more than anyone else. Am I succeeding? Yes. Do I believe that tomorrow's going to be better than yesterday? Of course. Why wouldn't I? I prove it to myself often. Now, Alan decides he's going to start a YouTube channel. Hey, why? Well, because actually macroeconomics is one of my favorite pastimes, period. And then, I don't know, gold came along back in, the early teens, and I started getting into that. And then, Trump got elected, and I thought, wow, what's going on with the world and what's happening here? And then the first time around, and I was like, wow, look at China and Russia are buying all this gold, and the entire world, and this whole Silk Road thing, it was called Silk Road back then. And I was watching this whole thing play out, and I was following it on, like, every day was a macroeconomics education to me. And then really, really, really the day that it really hit me that the dollar was history was somewhere around 2016 when I said, uh-oh, Bitcoin, because I immediately knew that Bitcoin would destroy gold one day. Immediately. No, it's not going to happen this year, next 5 years. No, clearly. I don't think, it's too many old people that believe in gold, myself included. I believe in the value of gold in a lot of ways. Its technology isn't real good. It truly is a stone. So it's got some issues there. So this man's evolution was really macro, because that's what I really enjoyed doing, being a broker, being a trader, and all I ever wanted to be when I was young was those things. I really wanted to make money with money. But then I had a real come to Alan moment. My son and I, when we were into this channel for a couple of years, and I had an Alan moment, and I said, is that all I'm going to do is be a cheerleader for you people? Is that really what you need, is another cheerleader to read you the evening news? Or am I going to tell you the wisdom of the ignorance in which I've made of my life? Am I going to tell you the true facts of the fact that I don't get half of it right? I make so many mistakes and have made too many mistakes to stand before you and call myself some sort of authority on anything being monetary. But what I am here to tell you is you and I have learned a lot. And honesty with yourself about what little you know is the perfect starting point for you to succeed. You don't have to sit around and listen to this old guy tell you, oh, wow, rah, rah, you know, buy this coin, buy that coin. No, the only thing you need to do is find a way to listen to logic. If you find bits of logic within channels and other channels, in particular, really good channels, like pull those little pieces out. But we're coming to a crossroads. And the crossroads says, do I make money with my knowledge? Was that my goal? Was my goal to make a better living for me and my family? If that was my goal, have I achieved that by watching the evening news channels? Probably not. Maybe to some degree. Maybe you've invested in the right coins and they've performed really well for you. Picking coins and the winners of coins has really been difficult for all of us. It just has. And I don't proclaim to have the winners. You know the coins I have. I believe in the fundamentals of them. Are they going to make it? I liked going into Blockbuster. You know what I'm saying? It didn't make it. I liked it. I liked going in and looking at all the jackets of the movies. It made sense to me. I don't know. I'm an old guy. Didn't work. Not all of this technology is going to be the lottery ticket. So I know you know where I'm going with this. What are you doing with your capital? So let's get to it. You've got 500 grand. Drop a zero. I don't care. Whatever your number is. You have this much. Uh-oh. Sorry, kids. I am out of battery. So I think I better do the smart thing and plug I better plug the old camera in. Talk amongst yourselves, as they say. So let's get back to how do you make money with money? I know one man that does very well, Tio Trini, and who just put in the chat there. He knows how to make money with money. He and I have discussed a couple of things. And you can talk to somebody on the phone and go, yep, yeah, he doesn't need me. He's doing just fine. He doesn't need an education on what to do with money. All of us can learn from each other, but a lot of us have a long way to go. Making money with money. You need a cash flow. You need a good investment. You need people behind you who appreciate you and believe in you and have your back and care as to whether or not you succeed. If you're going about this alone, have faith, be all three of those people that I just explained for yourself. Mandatory. You have to have somebody have your back. And if nobody has your back, you got to have your own back. Because you're going to make mistakes. You're going to do things wrong. Take your capital, analyze it, It's a different ratio for everybody. So I'm not going to sit here with a whiteboard and go like Ramsey and say, okay, well, this much has to go to your debt and this much has to go to this. Think outside of the old paradigm. You're not living there anymore. You're living in New World. New World has no sympathy and no bleeding heart for anybody that can't make money. I'm sorry. Oh, sure. Don't get me wrong. There's going to be UBI. Great. Well, fantastic. That sounds wonderful. I'll be able to buy, a bag of carrots and some ramen and, I don't know, at the end of the month. Does that sound like a lifestyle that you want to live? And yeah, they're going to try and, go socialist on the whole thing. Whether or not you're a socialist or a communist or whatever you believe in, I don't really care. That's not the life I want to live. I want to live the life to where, what do I feel like doing tomorrow? Okay, what are the hurdles of me being able to do that? I need the vehicle, I need whatever, I need transportation, I need fuel, I need whatever it might take for me to go do something that I want to do. I want all of those equations out of my thought process. My thought process is, I want to go do that, I go do it. Who doesn't want that? What is that formally called? That's called freedom, not debt slavery. It's what I teach around here. Yeah, I need steak. That's right. Yeah. Silver's at 54. Love it. Started buying silver back in the 80s. So it was $50 back then, believe it or not. So what are you going to do? You're going to make capital. You got to make some capital. Where's your capital coming from? You need the capital to make money. You got to buy a small business. You got to create a side hustle. You got to get something going on. I know you guys know where I'm going with this whole thing. This GoDaddy trading platform. Look it up in the show notes, whatever. Is making people money on their money. Do you need a degree in economics? No. Do you have to be a financial planner? No. Go baby. Sorry. Yeah. Did I say GoDaddy? I always say that. Go baby trader. Check it out. Unbelievable how many people are blowing me up and saying, oh my God, Alan, I didn't even understand what you were talking about. Now I it's $3,500. So it's really kind of, wow, I can't believe I have to spend that kind of money for 3 years. I'm like, what? Okay. All right. Whatever. Everybody to a person that has gotten onto this thing has said, wow, it's making me money. Yeah. It's not the only product. It's simply the best product we have right now for you. So you say, well, okay, Alan, like you've been on this channel for 4 years telling us all about crypto. Why would I get into Go Baby? Why would I do that? I'm a crypto person. You need liquidity. You need an income. If you want to keep your bag, you need income. Otherwise, you're going to be like the dilemma that every person that's 65, 70 years old is like, okay, I've saved this nest egg. How many dollars can I spend every month to when I'm broke at 90? Then what? That's a big, heavy trip for a lot of people that are 60 and older. Like everybody's just like, how do I do that, Alan? And oh my God, you need an income. You need an income stream, whether you're awake or asleep or on a beach with a martini. There's your answer. It's that simple. It's that simple, guys. And I know you got crypto, and I know you got a bunch of it, and I know you're waiting for the rainbow number, and I'm totally down with that. And I think that's a great plan. So you take a little bit of equity or something you have on the side, or if you've got a ton of coins, take 10 or 20 or whatever the percentage is of yours, of those coins, and sell them and put them into this and let it trade for you 24 hours a day. This thing is making money on down markets, in bad market, in fluctuating markets, in sideways markets. It's making money because it's smarter than you and I are. It is more patient than you and I are. And it simply works. It simply makes money while you sleep, which was basically the promise of crypto. I'm going to get rich without having to do anything. Hello, this is simple math here, guys. I don't have any secret sauce here for you tonight. I have basics. Get yourself an income stream so that you can hang on to the bag that you've accumulated. Okay? Even if you have to sell a part of your bag. Let's do a little bit of math. What if your expenses are $5,000 a month and it makes 10 grand a month? What are you going to do with the other $5,000? You're going to buy crypto, right? So look for a chunk of capital to buy the money machine that's printing money all day, or the money tree, or whatever analogy you would like to use for it. And that thing's constantly generating income for me. In case one day crypto goes ballistic and you say, oh, holy smokes, my rainbow came in. Now what, Al? Now what? I'll tell you what, you know exactly where to put it. Now you know where to put some of it. Is it going to be all of it? No. Are you going to create multiple streams of income? Of course. We have strategies around here. That would have been a great name for a company, Strategy. Yeah, I'm going to name my company Strategy. Probably taken. I don't know. Sounds good, though. Or maybe I call it macro, right? Macro strategy. Anyway, if we have the time and the patience to watch 10 videos a week or 10 videos a day, you have the time and the patience to do a little bit of thought-provoking, soul-searching, look in the mirror. Hey, what am I going to do with myself? Would I like an income stream? I would. How do I achieve one? How do I achieve that? You got the tools. Is it the only tool? No. Is it a great tool? Yes. Am I endorsing this product because I'm selling them and making a bunch of money? No, absolutely not. I'm not. It's hilarious. I'm feeling like I wish I had had this product 2 years ago. That's how I'm feeling like I'm not doing my due diligence because I didn't get this product to more people years ago. That's how I feel about it. I don't give a dime about what, kickback comes to me on it. Every single time I talk to somebody and they're on the phone and they're like, oh my God, Alan, do you know how much money I made yesterday? I made $150 yesterday on a sideways down market. And it's cash, Alan. Like I can spend it today on a credit card, debit card, right out of Coinbase. Yep. Anyway, enough about that. It's a tool I want you to have if you can afford it. It's a tool that's going to change the way you look at making money. It's a tool that I will just say, You've watched all these videos, tens of thousands of hours for years now, hoping for something like that to come along. And it came along. And now it's before you, and you're sitting back going, well, it's too good to be true. I don't know. I got 180 grand in crypto. God, I don't know. Should I try it? Should I put 10 grand in there and just see what it does? Well, yeah, I'm not saying, yeah, you should do that. What I'm saying is 180, if you've got 180 grand in value worth of XRP, for instance, and you pull 20 of it out to get this trader rolling, and it starts making you, I don't know, 20, 50, 80 bucks a day. And you start seeing that and you're going, wow, I'm making money every single day with that thing. That's really cool. That's really cool. I like that. That's fun. All of a sudden I'm getting rewarded for all of these years of waiting, just waiting for the day that my rainbow. And it's like you've got the home run ball. If you had 180, you still have 160K worth of XRP. And if that goes by 10, you're at 1.7 million bucks. You know what I'm saying? Your home run is still there. Like pulling 20K anyway. I'm not trying, I guess I'm pounding a dead horse here, but yeah, John Foster, payday is every day. Every day, guys. It's really powerful. I don't know. I love stuff like that because you got to remember this old guy was a trader. I traded Forex, mind-bending decade and a half of my life watching, going through forum after all of it. Back in the day, they were called forums. Learning everything I could and studying charts literally 12 hours a day. I'm not kidding you. For 4 years, I did not have a job. My job was simply to educate myself on Forex trading, and I mastered it to some degree. But the knowledge of the mastery of that was this: I can beat the system every day at their game, and I can earn money no matter what happens in the world. I know how to make money with this laptop anywhere I can get an internet connection. And I can do it. I can go on vacation and make money and do it. And that concept, I'm talking like 2001. I'm talking back in the day. You know what I'm saying? I was like, this is the most powerful thing I've ever learned in my lifetime. And now all of a sudden somebody's selling it to you. All the thousands of hours of homework I put in, it's like he built the exact trader the way I traded. I'm telling you, it's a brilliant piece of kit. You really need to look into it and just do it for yourself. Now I sound like a damn salesman here tonight. Let's talk about who we all are. Let's talk about why you're here. And let's talk about big opportunities. Why you're all here is obviously you resonate with my discussion or my presentation or my, we're all in this together angle, which is exactly, I hope, what comes across. It's dawned on me through deep reflection, if you will. I'm just a conduit. And my hopes and dreams and desires my whole life long are coming to me for the first time, maybe in such clarity that it's almost overwhelming me. Am I busier than I've ever been? And I'm 65 years old. Yeah, I am. I'm truly busier than I've ever been before. Do I appreciate every second of it? I do. But it dawned on me, I'm truly just a conduit. And once I understood my role, my position, my opportunity, my niche, if you will, I realized that everybody has the same one. And it's sort of like you go to a show, I go to a conference, and in the conference, I hear this guy talking about this product or this idea or this concept. And then it gets registered in the back of my head somewhere. And then I'm cruising along and somebody writes me an email and says, hey, you know what? My brother-in-law does this and this and that. And gosh, he'd like to talk to you about a couple of things. And then when I get a hold of the brother-in-law and I start talking to him, I'm like, whoa, stop. Wait a minute. You do what? Really? I know 3 people that need you like yesterday. And they're willing to pay you for your time and your efforts and in finance, everything that you're rolling on here. Do you need finance? Do you need help? Do you need a network? What can I help you with? And to a person, every one of them's like, my brother told me that you were just going to be the guy to talk to. And there it happened. I can't believe this is real, Alan. And I'm like, I know, right? I know. And do you know, I hear that virtually every phone call I'm on. Like, wow, we're doing this. Like, this is happening. And it's not Alan. It's you. We're in rare air here, people. And what I mean by that is AI is clearly coming. Tech is clearly here. Crypto, blockchain is very important to the future of the world. Okay? You know more about it than you think you do. Okay? All you need to do is get in the room with other crypto people or blockchain knowledge people, and then you start deciding, you start to feel, and what happens is your elevation of your belief or your belief in yourself and your knowledge just starts to elevate, and you start to walk a little taller, and you start to feel like, hey, you know what? I'm not just some old guy on the internet. I'm actually, I know what I'm talking about. But it's not like, oh, I'm an encyclopedia of knowledge. I know this guy said this and I recorded it and I shared it with this guy, and those two are now an item. They're now a company. They're now a profitable skill. They're the future of AI. They're using tools of AI and crypto and blockchain to create. We're at that evolution point. We're at the point in history to where man still is really important to the evolution of technology. Well, I don't know how much longer you're going to be able to say that, guys. I just don't know how much longer your conduitness is going to be relevant. Do you understand that point? Do you understand that point that I just made? Right now, the world needs your knowledge. What you know and who you know and the thousands of hours that you watch of YouTube and other people's great content, or spent time on X or whatever it may be, listen to different content people and listen to other people in the chat or whatever it might be. You are the next person that walks in the room at something event, whatever, it could be Halloween party. It doesn't even matter. Where you're a clerk in front of a counter and you change their lives and you change your life prospectively, because all of a sudden you made a connection, or you confirmed or reaffirmed in your mind who you are and how important you are to the massiveness of this universe And I'm telling you, it's massively powerful. I'm doing things right now. I'm going to tie this into my show, obviously, but the show that I'm doing in late January and 29, 30, and 31 of January of 26, the things I'm accomplishing right now started 6-8 months ago on a path of success in my life that no way you have ever dreamed as high and as tall and as far or as big a moonshot as this man is riding on right now. And I'm not saying that to toot my horn or to say, wow, look at me. Wow, I'm so successful. That's not why I'm saying that. Why I'm saying that is because all those people that I was a conduit to, there's going to be 500 of them in the same room with you. And what it's done for this man's financial background, my finances are just ridiculous at this point. And it's not about crypto go up. Is it crypto related? Yes, of course. Is it knowledge based? Do I look like the smartest blockchain guy in the room? Clearly, that's not it. Is it because I got a YouTube channel? A little bit, but actually, these people don't even know I have a channel. Do you understand? Do you understand that you make your own reality? You create your own success. And I know you've heard that from Tony Robbins your whole life. I know. I get it. I listen to it as well. I've heard it my whole life long. But I'm telling you from a perspective of a human being that is looking back over the last 4 years, but in particular the last 8 months to a year, it's just like, and it's like, and I have never sat back and said, well, why me? I don't deserve this. I'm not good enough for this. I'm not wise enough to be in that room. I'm not smart enough. Who am I? Who do I think I am? I don't, there's so many starving people out there. There should be other things happening, great things for many other people. I need to settle down my ability. I need to take a step back. And I'm taking somebody else's piece of pie angle. Get rid of all that. Just ditch it. Just ditch all of it. Why do I say just ditch all of that? When you've been told exactly that your whole life long, why did I tell you just to get rid of all of that? Because it's keeping you from succeeding. What happened with me is I was so busy in the trenches doing it and making it all happen. Yes, no, okay, let's do it. Why not? Sounds good. Sounds crazy. Why not? We could try it once, see if it works. And I had no time to analyze myself and sit back and criticize or ridicule or why I'm not worthy and all the rest of it. And it dawned on me in the last month or two, the reason why I'm succeeding at the rate that I am is because I didn't analyze myself and scrutinize myself to the bone. And my dogs are chasing a squirrel clearly. And sorry about that. If you guys can hear them, they've got one cornered up there. And I know the squirrel deserves to live. And I got all that. I know. Spare me. I know. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I went on that rant about you. It's not about Alan. It's about putting yourself. It's about understanding the technological world still needs you, your communication, your ability to send an email, to receive an email, to inspire somebody or change somebody's day by just being nice to them at a counter one day. Do you understand how important that is? Do you know one of my favorite? You know what? I got a minute here. Where are you guys going, right? Do you know why two of my favorite people to travel with are my son and a man by the name of Simon? I'm sure most of you know who he is, or at least have seen him in the chat. The reason is this. I don't care what their job is. I don't care what level they're at. I don't care what their appearance is. I don't care any of that. I know that my son and Simon and I, because I know I've spent hundreds of hours with these people in travel. I don't know why, but to Simon and I, we end up going to the same shows. We go together. We fly together. We end up, we do a lot of things together. We just, once I met him at a convention a long time ago, and we've been pretty much friends ever since. There's no judgment. Like none, zero. I don't, like, the CEO of the company means no more to me than the doorman. In fact, I'm probably nicer to the doorman, to be honest. Clearly, I would have to say I am. In particular, retail people at a counter. Do you know how rewarding it is to treat somebody like they're your best friend and they don't even know who you are? Do you know how incredible that is when you're the person behind the counter and somebody just walks up and just gives you like, hey man, how you doing? It's good to see you. Wow, you look great. Look at this. Wow, you're running this whole show here, huh? Hey, man, that was a smooth transaction. Thank you so much. You're clearly really good at your job. To a person, every transaction that we have with people is that. The people in the building in which I'm putting together is going to be 500 of those people. So, does that sound like a room you want to be in? The business opportunities come because you believe they're coming. They don't come because you worked harder than the person next to you. That's so old school. That whole paradigm of like, all I do is bust my tail for this company, and the company threw me under the bus and gave me a gold watch. We're done with that. We're done with all that. I'm sorry if that's the boat you're in right now. They don't care about you. They simply don't. And they're going to replace you with AI and a bot before long. Which ties me into the earlier conversation, which is put some capital in something that makes you money 24 hours a day. Shameless plug there. Because the system is evolving. The days of factory where a man behind a machine could replace, a man on a tractor replaced how many people with a hoe in their hand? Thousands. That's what's happening here with trading. That's what's happening with brokerage. That's what's happening to the banking institutions with DeFi. DeFi is coming, people, and it's coming next month. And oh, gee, isn't it odd that CZ and the whole thing happens and the liquidity gets sucked right out of the market and all the leverage gets sucked out of the market because they're trying to get you to capitulate a month before the entire thing goes ballistic. How do I know it's going ballistic? I don't. Why do I think it's going ballistic? Well, you do the math. Does Wall Street have a better idea? No. Does Wall Street have a better product? No, even Jamie Dimon come out and said, oh yeah, Barry, better. I don't know if you even heard this the other day, but even Elon Musk came out and said, oh yeah, well, turns out that it's a really good thing that Bitcoin uses electricity. Little clue right there, guys. I know, proof of work, terrible, it's bad for the environment. And who was saying that? Politicians. Right. Okay. And they're paid for by bankers. Right. Okay. Now I got the pictures pretty clear. Let's look at where's the world going to go? The movement of money, the tokenization of all things is happening when? 5 years ago? 5 years from now? No. Legislation, all of it's happening in the next 2 months. What do you think's about to happen to it all? They don't have a choice. Do you understand? They don't have an original idea at Wall Street. They sell other people's ideas. They're not inventors. They're not even entrepreneurs. They package somebody else's great idea and they sell it to the masses. I've been talking about that since this channel got started. They're about to have legal clarity to package it, to sell it to the masses. It will be at a bank teller near you. This is what my Thursday night shows have been about forever and ever and ever. They're about to sell this to you at your brokerage, at your bank, at your PayPal, at your Costco, at your Apple store, at whatever, all of it. Home Depot. You don't think Home Depot is going to get a stable coin when they got Lowe's down the street and they're going to say, well, use our stable coins. And if you use our stable coins, you get an extra 10% on every purchase you buy using these stable coins. You don't think that's coming? Walmart? Please. Like, why would they not do that? Number one, it's profitable to make money out of nowhere and be able to buy US treasuries or gold with it, like Tether does, or buy Bitcoin with it. And that goes up what? Let's see. Okay, let's just use the numbers I just talked about. So I'll make it as simple as possible. This is what I already know, right? This is what you probably already figured out, but let's go over it real quick. So Home Depot decides, all right, if you use my Home Depot bucks, all right, stable coin, Home Depot can print 1 billion of them for October. All right, use my Home Depot bucks. Click, click, simplest thing ever. Click, click, yep, no problem. No more cashier. The rest of it, all on the aisles already scanning everything. So they walk out the door and they got 10% off on their purchase. And you say, well, wow, that was a pretty good 10. They can't afford to give 10% on everything. Well, first of all, they work on a 40% margin rate, but we won't even get into that. Let's get into the fact that they don't even work on, they work on a double that. That's for a different show, but I've talked about it before, but the warehouse sells it to the retail store and the warehouse sells to the store and it makes up 40%. And then the store sells it at 40%. So really they make it close to 8% on the product. Not even talking about that. What I'm talking about, I said I was going to make this simple and I'm not. The 10% comes right where you already understand. Here's where the 10% comes from. They get to print the money, sell it as money, and when they get the money for that coin, they buy treasuries, they buy gold, they buy Bitcoin. Or probably some XRP in there too, right? They're going to have a whole bag. How much does that go up? Well, Ellen, I don't know, the 50% on this coin and well, treasuries are only 4.5%. So, they lost money. If they're giving a 10% discount on them, they lost money. Oh, really? You forgot one thing that you have learned over the last 10 years watching macroeconomics. Fiat declined in purchasing value by at least 10%. Correct? Think about it. The debasement of the US fiat currency is trying to be supported by a stablecoin by buying their US treasuries. But that's only 4.5. What's the return? If they give a 10% discount to use my coin over that, what's the real return? So put our thinking caps on and tell ourselves, what are they really doing with stablecoins? Getting out of the dollar to other assets, because the dollar is doing what? It's in free fall. They get to print fake dollars out of nothing and buy real assets. Sure, that makes a lot of money. But the big part of the equation is that it doesn't lose money. Hope that makes sense. I didn't explain. I said I was going to make that real easy, and I didn't. You got to get out of fiat. And I know what you're thinking. You're so, well, you just told me to get this Go Baby Trader, and that's fiat. To some degree, it's fiat, but you're buying a crypto. When you profit at the end of the month, or at the end of each day or each trade, you can take it in stablecoin. Or, like I like to think, figure out how much your bills are every month and spend it. Spend it because you need cash flow. You got to pay your bills. You got to pay the electric bill. You got to pay your mortgage. You got to pay whatever it is to pay. Because give them their fiat, make a ton of fiat, and give them their fiat back. But whatever you can spare at the end of the month, in particular if you're a young person, store it in something like they're storing it, which is not fiat, which is an asset, which we talk about a million times on this show. I hope you guys got something from tonight's show. It was so cool to see people in the chat and people getting stuff and information from each other. And yeah, stored in XRP, not a bad idea right there. Always find something better than fiat. Yeah. Thanks, Frankie. Yeah, man. I really, it's I want to kind of conclude the show here with a few things that I know I talked about the show and what it means to me and what it means for you to be there and who all you're going to meet. It's going to blow your mind. I wait till you see the guest list. It's just going to be, and what I mean by guest list is how many people are going to be there. I'm not even inviting, famous people for a reason. You know what I'm saying? It's like, whatever. Like, anyway, there's something about when a person comes along and they meet other people, and when they show themselves as to who they really are in a room like that, there's something very genuine about it. And I watch it from afar, if I'm standing there talking to you and I'm actually looking over your shoulder, I'm like, I'm absorbing it all. It's just like such an amazing energy to be in a room with that many incredible, like-minded, want to do well for mankind, believe in the system, believe in what crypto can change the world, believe in all those incredible things, and understand that monetary wealth is a concept in our head. It has nothing to do with your family tree or how hard you work. It's a concept that can be achieved by anyone. Man, it's powerful. People that just believe and succeed first, boy, that's the room you want to be in, guys. That's the room I'm building. That's the room we already have right here, but we're going to have that room on steroids or moonshot, whatever you want to call it or look at it. Anyway, guys, I love it. It's so much fun. I do. Thanks, Atlantic Living. I do appreciate authentic people, and I don't really. Authenticity is so simple, yet so few master it. Yeah, so few master it. And I sometimes when I watch my videos, I'm like, wow, that guy is not very entertaining. It's like that guy's kind of wrapped a little tight. It's like, why didn't he just loosen up and crack more jokes and just enjoy more of his time? That's who I am. That's just who I am. That's just the way this program works. And it's not for everybody, and I can't be for everybody. But it's authentic because people who know me and know me my whole life, they see that. And they either appreciate it for what it is or say, wow, he's pretty cool, but there's too many other people I'd rather hang out with, or whatever, whatever the story is. Yeah. Anyway. All right, everybody. I love you all very much. I hope you guys all know that. And I mean that. I don't just say that. It's, of course, don't feel special. I love mankind. Mankind is, and I know there's a ton of animal people out there, and I love my dogs and my cats, and don't get me wrong, I do. I love animals. But they pale in comparison of the brilliance of humanity. They simply do. And that's my opinion, because I think mankind on a spiritual level is as close to God as this universe gets. Again, my 2 cents, and I'm wrong a lot. So determine whatever you would like to with that. All right. I love you all. Thank you very much. And thanks for being here tonight with me. It's a pleasure, always. So on that note, I will